Probably the most intense friendly fire so far from Republicans was delivered upon President Donald Trump by Republican Senators Bob Corker and Jeff Flake yesterday. And I'm going to get into Jeff Flake in a second, starting with Bob Corker. Bob Corker said both that President Donald Trump is debasing our country and implied that Trump should be in some kind of adult daycare facility, which I don't really find either comment particularly controversial. Really, both are quite realistic. These are 5 tweets from Donald Trump slamming Corker for his opposition to the Republican tax cut plan, Trump going nuclear on one of his unhinged Twitter tirades, 5 tweets in a row. And I'll read them all together for you. Donald Trump starting with Bob Corker, who helped President Obama give us the bad Iran deal. Why is deal capitalized? I don't know. And couldn't get elected dog catcher in Tennessee, is now fighting tax cuts. Tax cuts also capitalized. Why? We might never know. Corker dropped out of the race in Tennessee when I refused to endorse him, and now is only negative on anything Trump. Look at his record. Isn't it sad that lightweight Senator Bob Corker, who couldn't get reelected in the great state, capitalized, why? We don't know, of Tennessee, will now fight, capitalized, we don't know why, tax cuts plus. Senator Corker is the incompetent head of the Foreign Relations Committee, and look how poorly the U.S. has done. He doesn't have a clue, as the entire world, capitalized, we don't know why, was laughing and taking advantage of us. People like little Bob Corker have set the U.S. way back. Now we move forward. What's with this entire little thing, spelling little L-I-D-D-L-E, that Donald Trump does? I don't know if he thinks it's clever or cute or incisive or what, but it's weird. And Bob Corker responded to Donald Trump's unhinged Twitter rant with a tweet of his own where he said, "Same untruths from an utterly untruthful president, hashtag alert the daycare staff." And then Corker was interviewed by CNN's Manu Raju and went even further. Again, a Republican slamming Republican President Donald Trump.
I mean, 4 times he encouraged me to run and told me he would endorse me. So I don't know. It's amazing. Unfortunately, I think world leaders are very aware that much of what he says is untrue. Certainly people here are, because these things are provably untrue. I mean, they're just factually incorrect, and people know the difference. So I don't know why he lowers himself to such a low standard and debases our country in the way that he does, but he does.
Debases our country. And this is making headlines because it's a Republican, right? Nothing that Bob Corker said is remotely controversial or deniable. And corporate media is calling this a blistering or scathing criticism of Trump. It's a pretty simple and non-inflammatory and obvious criticism of Trump, given the circumstances, but because it's a Republican, it's making big headlines. And the truth is that Corker doesn't have much to lose at this point. He's retiring, he's not running for re-election, and he's saying that he won't support Trump for election again. That's all fine and good, but everybody who supported Trump to begin with should be absolutely ashamed of themselves, because that's why we're in this situation to begin with. And Bob Corker should be criticizing not only Donald Trump himself. What about the 80% of the Republican Party that still supports Donald Trump? What about them? They are as much a part of the problem as Donald Trump himself. And if Trump is debasing the country, then you have to blame the Republicans who put Trump in the Oval Office to begin with. Could this be the start of a Republican deluge against Donald Trump? Well, maybe. We'll get to Jeff Flake in a second. Someone wrote to me, hey, David, Robert Mueller must be getting really close to Trump in that investigation because Trump is particularly easily triggered right now. I don't really know if that's true. Trump has been unable to avoid taking the bait from anybody, right? Minor voices on the internet all the way up to major political players in both the Democratic and Republican parties. I don't think there's anything different right now about how easily Trump is being triggered. Bob Corker, number 1. And who is number 2? Let's talk about Jeff Flake in the possible growing Republican civil war. The video you just finished watching was made possible by you through the membership program. You can sign up for membership at davidpakman.com/membership. We are viewer-supported independent media. You can use the coupon code IVoted17 for a 40% discount off of your membership.